I got here because I had the privilege of stumbling upon a fundamental principle in my youth, and that principle was taught to me by my original teacher, and his name was Jim Rohn. And Jim taught me when I was just 17 years old that in life, there's only one way for you to really truly have your labor be fulfilling. You have to align with what's most important to you, what you really believe in, what's meaningful for you. That if you settle for something less than that, while you might have to do it because you have to pay your bills, you can't ever give up pursuing what's going to make you feel most alive. Because ultimately, I really believe that probably the most sacred thing in our lives that we can give another human being besides our love is our labor. You think about it, your labor is your energy, it's your time, it's your emotion, it's your intellect, it's your spirit to some extent. And if you can find a way where what you do for a living activates that sense of what you're made for, then work is not work worthy. Most people, I think, are unhappy in their life because they look at labor as work. They look at it as, why should I have to effort so much? And in my experience, effort is the reward. If you are doing something you love, it's there. So if you don't have it, you might say, Tony, that's all wonderful. You're in Fiji and you do what you love and I don't have that. Thanks so much for giving me the lecture. I'm not coming from that place. I'm coming from the place of saying you can discover something that you're really passionate about, but in order to do it, you got to get out of the story of what you can't do and you got to put yourself on the line. Most of us know that 2/3 of the planet's living on $2 a day. So no matter how difficult our life may be, most of us, our worst challenge is somebody else's greatest dream. And I think it starts with the gratitude for what we already have. It starts with understanding that what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. And if you and I can figure out what's right with what we do, if we can start where we are and enjoy that labor, everything changes. I'll give you a silly example, kind of a funny story. I had some partners in business when I was just, I think I was 18 years old, 19 years old. And Harvey and Marilyn got involved with a particular guru that they really believed in India. And gradually they started to decide that what they were going to do is they were going to do this chant in the seminars we're doing, which were seminars on how to become in a peak state of fitness and health. And we're doing them for successful business people those days in Beverly Hills and West Los Angeles and a couple other areas. And I was concerned that they were now going off to India to have these spiritual experiences, and they were going to come back and they were going to try and convert people to some form of spirituality. Whether it was right or wrong didn't matter, just it wasn't what we were in business for. And I wanted to change people's lives with health. So being a young kid and thinking of all the answers, I went to India with one thing in mind. I'm going to make sure that I have a conversation with a guru and he straightens my partners out so they understand that their labor is a gift and they need to give their labor separate from their spiritual beliefs. So I go off on this journey and I go to India and I stay outside this ashram because I'm not a follower of this thing. And they're in the ashram and I go have my meals. And one day I come back from having this meal and this little monk comes up to me and the monk says, excuse me, I've not met you. I introduced myself and he says, what are you here for? I said, well, I'm here to see the guru. I want to have a meeting. And if you know anything about India, you don't just have a meeting with a guru. People come for 5 or 7 years and don't get such meetings. And I said, I'm here to get his help to straighten something out. It's very important with some of us followers. And the man said, well, I haven't seen you at Seva. And I said, what's Seva? He said, well, Seva is where you come and volunteer your time to give work, to give labor to the guru. And I said, I'm not a follower of the guru, so I don't do Seva. He goes, yeah, but you're staying in the guru's place. I said, I'm paying to stay in the guru's place. He goes, it doesn't matter. You're eating the guru's food. I said, I'm paying for the guru's food. He goes, but here you have to pay and you must give labor. And you must volunteer 4 hours a day to Seva. I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding me. But after he left, he said, you should report to this place for your assignment. I'm thinking, there's no way I'm gonna do this. But then I started feeling guilty. I see all these people, doctors and lawyers and moms and kids, and they're all working. So finally I report to Seva. Thinking, all right, I'll get this out of the way. So I show up to the Seva, I'll never forget, right, for my labor, remember? And the guy looks at me and goes, oh, big man, furniture mover. And I go, oh, no, I got a bad back, which was true, but I was exaggerating how bad it was at that moment just because I didn't want to do a bunch of heavy labor. And when I was growing up, I grew up very poor, and I'm the oldest of 3, and I had to do all the shopping, all the grocery shopping on my bicycle, come home, make the meal, and I was happy with all that. But then, right when you wanted to be done with your work and go watch sports or do something great, I had to wash the dishes. So I swore someday I will never do the labor of washing dishes. I will afford a dishwasher. I will find some way to not have to do dishes. I tell you this as a background because when I told him I couldn't be a furniture mover, he looks down and goes, oh, only one other job left, dishwashing. Now, dishwashing in India is a different labor than you might picture in your kitchen. You're in this ashram, and I report, and there's these milk solids and yogurts on the floor, and you're standing in your bare feet, and you're taking these filthy dishes coming across, and it's 4 hours a day for 6 or 7 days. I'm telling you, I was so angry, I was mad at myself that I was there, and I was washing these dishes and upset, and plus I was a vegan, and I didn't like the fact there was milk on the floor. I was judgmental about everything. In the middle of all this stuff, after about an hour of being angry, I got tired of being angry, and some part of me kicked in and goes, damn, whatever you do, you're the best at it. Why don't you be the best damn dishwasher? So I started washing these dishes with a frenzy. I'm like, come on, guys, speed this thing up. And something magical happened. The thing that I thought was most disgusting and filled with labor and work became play. And I started to laugh at myself. And I thought, what an ego jerk you are to think that you're below washing some dishes. And then I got beyond my ego and jerk into, why not just enjoy whatever you do, and then when you do, all of a sudden it's not work anymore. And that was my great spiritual breakthrough. I eventually did meet with this guru and try to straighten him out, but he didn't think very much of an 18-year-old kid straighten him out. He laughed quite a bit. He did talk to my partners and said, I think you guys should just keep teaching what you're teaching, and Fit for Life went on to be one of the most successful books in history. But I can't claim credit for that. I was a part of that little piece. But I will tell you that if you can get over if you can get yourself to love to do the stuff you hate to do, then there's no limit to the success you can have in your life. If you can take the things that you're afraid you'd have to do to succeed in your business, or to succeed in your life, or to succeed in your relationship, there are things everybody doesn't want to do. And the more focused you are on how you're not going to do that, the more life seems to bring those things up for you and makes them barriers. Hey, maybe it's time to take something that you can't stand doing and say, I'm going to do this for 2 hours. I'm going to find a way to love the hell out of it. And if you did, you might find a little breakthrough. You might find that if you're in the moment with anything, and you tap into your ability to enjoy anything in life, and you just focus on what you can give instead of what you can get, in that state of giving, work disappears.